I'm Sal, and I'm diving into the pixelated past with my lively co hosts, Ryan and John, as we gather round to reminisce about the games that defined our shared experiences.
I want to start an OnlyFans so bad and only put fans on it.
Yeah, right. You know what's weird? They said that there's a guy who is on OnlyFans, and it's really wholesome. He just tells the girls, "Hey, have a great day. You're doing a good job." And I mean,
Why's it gotta be the girls? Why can't he be one for the boys? Guys need it more.
you think guys would totally buy that? Pay money to hear a chick say,
Oh,
you're
guys would pay money to hear a dude tell them that they're doing fine. Are you kidding me? The thing with OnlyFans, right, is it's private, and that appeals to men because they don't have to worry about like people judging them. They don't have to worry about this one person.
Honestly, I didn't know that about OnlyFans. I've only heard like it's for people who are like doing nefarious things, like showing off.
Nefarious things.
You know, I didn't know
I th-
that OnlyFans means it's private. Like you don't know who's on it. Like,
yeah, it's believe it or not, it can be wholesome on there. You can actually have. I think there's like OnlyFans has some stuff where I think is it Squarespace where you can like pay to like get access to like tutorials and stuff on how to do things. There are people who do that like on OnlyFans.
it's just it got taken over by other stuff.
Yeah, it's like Tumblr, right? Like when you say Tumblr, you're
Uh
like,
huh.
oh, porn. And you're like, well, no, it wasn't originally for that, but yes.
Uh huh. Okay.
So
So just supportive things. $5 to have a person say you're doing okay. You're gonna. You know what? I understand that because it sounds really bad, but it heals me. There's this old grandma on TikTok that she pops up on my For You page. She goes, "No, wait, please don't scroll. I just wanted to say it's okay. You're doing okay. It's gonna be alright." And then she ends it every single time saying, "I love you." And I'm like, "I love you too."
I love you too, Internet Grandma.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually I'd have to find it. There's a YouTube channel that, well, it's not really a YouTube channel. It's a bunch of shorts, but it's basically just this woman who just talks to her mom on their camera, like their doorbell cam,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just the most wholesome shit. And it just blew up because she's just not, it's just a short burst. So you don't know the person very well, but it's just a short burst of sweetness, and it's consistent every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing how simple that type of thing pulls people in.
Doesn't that kind of hurt though? Like you see some. I know it sounds really
Does it hurt when you see family members who can relate to each other and have normal conversations
like
and be
and be
wholesome?
supportive and
Yeah,
like.
yeah. No, it irks you a little bit deep down.
Where you're like, you want to be a bigger person, but you're like, shit, I wish I got that.
Yeah,
I
no,
need that.
I feel that. Yep.
But no, the whole thing about childhood stuff, that's for real. Like, when you grow around, I had so many issues that I'm just like, when I see people have everything figured out, like these kids who are like in immersion schools, so they're like learning like another language in English, and I'm just like, I was like just trying to survive.
Yep.
These
I had that
people.
earlier with Dyla.
Hmm.
He's hugging me and shit. I'm like, you gotta like, I can do like a hug every like few hours, but you were like chain hugging me, and she's just like, why don't you like it? And I'm like, because I don't know, I just can't. She's like, is it because of the abuse? And I'm like, well,
Wow.
yeah, it is. It's because of the abuse as a child. And she goes, those stories are weird. And I'm like, they're true though. She goes, you have a lot of them. I'm like, there was a lot of abuse. And she goes, I don't know what that's like. And I'm like, let's hope you never fucking do. But also, fuck you.
Yeah, you're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, like, I was so just, like, I was in the middle of a boss fight and just taken back. Man, fuck you, alright? Go up into your secured room with your rabbit and your television and your Switch and call your friends and have normal conversations. Fuck you, kid. I'm gonna take this from a 12-year-old.
It really is kind of bittersweet because there you are, I'm doing things that I'm like, what am I doing? Like if my kids had a hard day at school and she's like, I can see it on her face, I'll be like, do you need to cry? And if she's like, yeah, and I just let her cry. And I'm like, we didn't grow up like that. We got toughen up, suck it up kind of a thing, figure it out.
You leave the house and walk like a mile and cry somewhere in a field.
Yeah, I'll give you something to cry about.
Like that, yes. I'll give you something to cry about. Oh my gosh. No, that one, I feel that one.
But yeah.
It's been one of those weeks, huh? Like the last week and a half.
Yeah, has it been pretty...
Hold on. I can still talk, but my headset wire is all... There we go. It's all wrapped up around my ear and glasses and shit. I was just asking for it. Oh, it's just one of those, I don't know, I don't know if Ryan will feel this, or maybe you'll feel this, but it's you have, like I was telling you yesterday, you have plans hurt, people don't follow plans, your brain can't handle not having plans. And then you're like, oh, we didn't have dinner, and your brain can only register, today's a dinner day, and then they're like, oh, just eat the regular food. And you're like, I physically can't do that. I just... brain can't comprehend how to. You just have a breakdown. You're like, I can't figure this out. It's so dumb.
I don't do well with plans because things always fall through. I can't plan anything in any way because it just fails every time. So I have to just learn to be spontaneous and to outthink challenges as it happens.
Oh, see, that's my case with Leanne. Leanne will plan, and it never works because she doesn't plan enough. So I end up having to constantly, in the situation, design a whole new plan. Otherwise, I will just not be able to deal with the situation. But no, this ant was weird.
Don't you ever the ones who make it out of their way to be like, that's not appropriate? They're the ones you're like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like the people who are like, I don't lie.
Oh, she was one of those people too that was just she had at the time, I don't know, maybe almost a 1-year-old daughter, and she was just like, you can't have cake, you're gonna get fat, you're already fat. I'm like that's a baby. They're all fat.
Oh my, yeah. Oh,
she was really worried about it because her older son, who was probably 8 or something, so I think I was 10 or whatever, I don't know. He was chubbier for, an 8-year-old kid. And it was we hated visiting because she would use me and Steve as she'd be like, look, they're fit, why aren't you fit like that?
I don't know, medical problems?
Well, yeah, well then she'd be like, they don't sit and play video games all day like you do. They swim and jump on trampolines, and then me and Steve would just be like, yeah, we play a lot of video games. Matter of fact, here's our Switch, our Nintendo, or not Switch at the time, but the your just DS, your Game Boy, fucking everything. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady?
Oh my god,
she was crazy. I don't miss those people.
God, they sound lovely.
Oh yeah, they were great. I mean, there's a reason I don't talk to anybody in my family who's not directly related to me.
It's because I don't get it. I don't know if you've ever had to deal with it, but my family is really big into competition. I couldn't care less.
No.
Yeah.
You couldn't care less.
Well.
You.
What?
You.
I'm better now. Since I went to Canada...
That sounds like competitiveness right there. I'm better. I'm not competitive. I'm better at not being competitive. Matter of fact, I'm the most uncompetitive person in my family.
I'm the best uncompetitive person ever. I'm trying, damn it. I moved to Canada.
No, I'm no better. I'm competitive as fuck.
I guess okay. When it comes to showing off name brand clothes and cars,
like Gucci pants or whatever.
I'm like,
yeah,
no. I got something called free time.
Yeah, I know. I hate when people are like, "Oh, if you won the lottery, what car would you buy?" I'm like, I don't drive now. What makes you think No, if I have $1 million, I'm definitely not driving. Are you kidding me? I don't want a fancy car. I want a car that goes 1,000 miles on one tank of gas so I can save even more money.
I'm gonna buy a car that turns into a Gundam.
Yeah.
All right, well, I need more than 100 million for that, but yes, I'm moving to Japan and I'm buying that Gundam company and I'm giving them all of my funds.
Oh my God. There will be signs that I've fallen into money.
Yeah, you won't know I won the lottery, but there will be signs.
Yeah.
I actually had this conversation on my Twitch chat last night, and they were just like, what would you do if you won? And they were like, would you stop streaming and stuff? I'm like, I'd probably stream more.
Yeah.
Like, I would stream like crazy. I'd have webcam. I'd pay probably actual artists to do good shit and make it happy, and then I'd just stream all the time. Because, like, what's the stress?
Exactly.
Like, currently, I'm streaming, because I love streaming and it helps me get over my anxiety, which is a big one. But also streaming to, like, $50 every 3 months. I'll take $50 every 3 months,
that's
and if that gets
$50
better,
you never had.
Exactly. So it's like, why not? But yeah.
Did you hear about that? What? It's nothing bad. But
yeah, sure. No, it's nothing bad.
Did you hear about that stingray named Charlotte?
No.
Okay. What? You guys don't periodically look at sea life and see what they're up to? Come on now. They have feelings too, but there's this stingray.
They have feelings too.
Named
Steve Irwin just smiled.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You did not bring him up with stingray.
Oh, that is an unfortunate. Yeah, no, I did not think of that one through. You know what? He wouldn't blame the stingray.
That's a Freudian slip right there.
He wouldn't be mad at that.
No, he would not want harm happening to stingrays. Yep. Yeah. Awkward.
Didn't he say that when they were trying to rescue him? That it was his fault?
I don't know.
Because he was afraid that people would backlash against... Like, as he's dying.
That was his... It's not... I don't know.
Like a fucking superhero movie. He's got a stingray in him, and he's just like, it's not the stingray's fault.
Yeah.
Too soon. Too soon. Yeah. Anyways, Charlotte, stingray.
There's a comment I saw years ago about after his death. Someone was like, I don't really watch anime, but I swear to God, he better have been fucking isekai'd. Otherwise, I'm gonna riot. And I love to think of the idea that Steve Irwin just got isekai'd. Like, he's still somewhere just making the world, another universe better.
That's exactly what's happening.
But this fucking stingray that definitely didn't kill Steve Irwin. What's up with this one named Charlotte?
She's been by herself for 8 years. Like, she hasn't been with a male stingray for...
Oh,
yeah, that one, right?
Yeah.
And now she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And the only one that she is sharing the tank with are 2 sharks named Mo and Larry. So people are like, is this some weird stingray shark?
Okay.
What do you think, Ryan? How did this stingray, not being in the presence of another male stingray for 8 years, just 2 sharks, get pregnant? They thought it was a tumor.
Is it possible that the species has the capability, like some amphibians, to hermaphrodite themselves to reproduce?
With themselves?
Because they've not been in contact with any of their species for 8 years, they could just swap to lay an egg?
Well, I mean, she was a female already, so she'd have to swap the...
Yeah, that's what I mean, like to fertilize it.
Man, thank God people can't do that. That's my number one thought. Because there are many people who are off on their own that you're like, oh. Yeah, probably. I think it's probably, asexual reproduction?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's some... What would cause that to happen? Maybe just some kind of trigger? Like I know some species, depending on the conditions, they'll do it. Maybe she was in ideal conditions. She's like, pop!
Yeah.
Immaculate conception.
Yeah, better late than never.
John's quiet.
I was thinking, it was just like, I guess it could be, stingrays, we just didn't study them enough by themselves to see if they ever could do this.
I know they said that there are a lot of, like what Ryan was saying, there were frogs and even plants and stuff that could do something similar.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we just never left a stingray alone by itself long enough where it was just like, fuck it.
That's interesting. Yeah. No, not enough stingray observers. Just like...
Yeah. I mean, it really, it sounds too goofy to say it out loud, but I mean, that really just could be the case. Like, we just never put a stingray in a tank by itself and just left it alone for a long time.
It's just like eels, right? They say until now, they still don't know how they reproduce. They just know there's more eels, but it's a mystery.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's almost like we should keep studying the ocean and aquatic life instead of maybe Mars.
Yeah. Let's learn more about what,
where we live and if we can improve it. But no, it's better to just leave and go somewhere else.
Yeah, and I was telling Ryan we're not going to end up going there. I mean, unless they're going to use us for like hired help. But it's like, oh, this planet is shit, and all the billionaires are gonna, like Elysium.
Yeah, because it's just not the billionaires aren't gonna transfer the metals and buildings and construct and move everything that you would need to live there on their own. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna hire people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a lot harder to manage people from another fucking planet.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck with that. It's just not.
It would have to have its own infrastructure entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the whole delay of it and everything just would cause massive issues, I think.
What I find interesting, though, with all that tech advancement is, like, we're getting a lot more withdrawn because they're saying, like, a lot of people, mostly it's making news in China, but a lot of people are turning, like, a lot of the women are turning to just having AI companions. Like, like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you can download an app and you can name this AI and they can be like your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever.
There was a guy who in China married like a character, like a video game character or whatever. Like actually married the AI program, and then I think like a year or two ago they shut it down.
No.
So yeah, they shut it down, and it's like, one, I just feel sad for the guy, right? Because like, he probably paid a lot of money for that and spent a lot of hours talking to this program. But yeah, they just shut down his wife essentially.
Oh no. I would love to see what happened, like, to him.
I know, right? But that's when you said all that. That's what made me think of that. Like, eventually, they're gonna shut down stuff.
Why would they shut it down?
They didn't make it for him. It was just part of like another thing, and they were just like, okay, we're done with this. Like, it's just not it's not worth it for us to keep running this program. So they just shut it down to move on to other projects.
Cost management.
Yeah. So, and this guy just happened to get like really attached to it.
Well, hopefully they gave him like a copy of the program or something, because that's just kind of wrong. I mean,
like that you're really like, I hope this guy made it out okay, and I'm like, it's probably for the best.
But I guess I don't know. All right, are you for AI or against AI, kind of a thing? But like, there is alarming kind of things. Like the girls say they would rather have an AI boyfriend because what's interesting is they use it for like comfort and emotional support, and they say that AI is programmed to remember the responses of what you say to it. Like the girls will talk to them and they'll remember the responses, and it'll slowly adapt to answer in a way that meshes well with the person who is using the app.
So it's unfair and unrealistic.
It's that's what I was gonna say. It's unfair, unrealistic.
Their view of people.
Yep.
But you could see it being the future. That's
and that kind of idea is what would destroy humanity. Because it'd be so accepting of the AI that we would refuse actual people for their flaws.
Yeah. Yep. Because like those women who are doing that probably are a huge pain in the ass to be in a relationship with, because they don't want a man, they want a yes man.
A yes man. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Do
like,
you think somebody
who
could
just
program it to be realistic and disagree sometimes? Or do you think they just want like 100%?
They just want 100% compliance.
I think it's either way, it's dumb. But I feel it's the same method if you're a dude trying to like just have a relationship with an AI female program. Like, it's just no, don't do that, man. Don't do that.
I think one theory that they're saying why they're supporting it, like especially in some of these, is younger tech individuals like in China and around the world, they're having a hard time finding a position, finding work. And so they're all stressed, and they might be using it as a way for control, honestly. You know, to make it where people don't rebel or say these are crappy conditions, because if you have somebody that you can constantly have emotional support and talk to, even though it's an AI, it kind of keeps the riots and the uprising kind of at bay.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're leaning towards, at least in China. They said, well, we're supportive of this because we know how stressful it is for the younger generation, so
we're supportive of this because if you don't rebel, we get to keep making money and control this less fortunate populace that we have. That's what it's saying, because it's not. You can't be like, oh, it keeps their emotions in check. No, there's no emotion here. It's a fucking screen. It's not real. It doesn't care about you. As far as you're aware, what you say goes back to fucking the control center, and then they're like, oh, yeah, no, don't let it say that. That'll fuck that guy up, and then he might riot. So they could be going back and they could be modifying what it says before it sends it back, and that's just...
Wouldn't that be messed up if they could just change a little bit of the program and then, like, adding more prompts?
You already know they are. They are, 100%.
You get emotionally attached.
There was an AI CEO who the AI wasn't responding the way he wanted, so when people were talking to it, it was him responding.
What?
Yeah, he was the one actually responding, and he wasn't like leaving his office. He wasn't eating. He wasn't sleep. Like, he was in major trouble, and he was responding to all of the people texting the chat GPT thing because it just wasn't working properly. I'm like paraphrasing a little bit, but he did do that. He did stay and respond to people, and these people thought it was AI.
Crazy.
Yeah, nuts. No, AI is not. AI needs to honestly go away.
You know, I don't know. I might be biased because I just see that it's going to happen, you know? Which it's good for us to kind of discuss, because I think it's happening all over the place. I mean, they use it for work a lot of times. They use it for screening resumes now. You can't even get a hold of somebody real to really look at your resume. They have to run it through a AI program, and they kick out the parameters of the AI and stuff like that.
Well, it's people are, well, not people, but like the gaming industry have already. Sony's already been like, it costs too much to make games, but we're not selling games for a high enough price to make the money back. So games need to get cheaper. How do you get it to be cheaper? Well, you fire 50,000 people and you use AI.
No way, really?
Oh yeah, no, they already are using AI in game development.
They're already working on it.
There's plenty of artists and stuff who are just no longer making games, and it's just AI making backgrounds and currently not full scale things, but like background things, you know, floors, trees, all that kind of shit. Because it's cheaper to just have a program do it. Because before, the cheaper route was, you know, using like Unity assets and just paying for pre-made assets. But now, if you can just get AI to make your assets, you don't have to pay Unity, and you just don't have to pay a person. You just have to pay the guy who is in charge of the AI. which sucks because AI doesn't.
Whoever's there to adjust the design to make it look proper.
Real.
Since AI doesn't know what the hell fingers and toes are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or ears.
It is eerie, though. When they interpret stuff, it's a little off. There's that devoid of emotion when they create.
That.
Like, yeah.
That's why I think games and art and all that stuff is going to suffer heavily in the next few years as we transition into AI, because it's going to miss that emotional part, like watching, like
the soul of the artist that made it.
Yeah, or even if like we start removing motion capture and start using AI to just motion capture, it's not going to have that human-y, like Kratos, right? Like his motion capture. Mm-hmm. A lot of that is human emotion expressed, you know. But an AI can't capture emotion. It just can't. It doesn't know what emotion means.
I think Miyazaki, they showed some of the AI-generated art, and he was appalled.
As he should be.
He said that's an abomination.
It is an abomination.
It really didn't settle well with him. And you know how he is. Like, you've seen the interviews and everything he's created. You know, he has such a passion.
The epitome of passion.
So when he saw it, he was like appalled by it. He just thought it was almost like blasphemy. And I thought that was interesting because, you know, I guess he would never adopt something like that, because I mean he still does a lot of the hand-drawn animation and everything like that. So I
think it's not quite there yet. I could see, though, with several more generations of evolution in AI, for them to fully understand how our world is structured properly, that it could change things significantly for us. And we're probably just not ready for that evolutionary change. So we're very against it in most cases. But the slow transition into aiding us in doing everything will eventually get us to where we're accepting them more. And a lot of times it's just not knowing they're there and being happy with the result. And then later finding out that, oh, that was AI, but it looks so damn good. You know?
But you mean, but that's kind of why, like, that's interesting, because we're on either side of the issue. Like, most people are against it, but I guess that's why I'm not really threatened too much by it or that against it, because human emotion will always back up anything that AI creates. Like, yes, they can create art and stuff like that, but as long as you have some kind of human factor behind it, like when you're giving a speech, you can go to an AI program and have them write a speech, but they don't have any personal experiences or ideas that they can interject into the speech to make it human. And I think that's whenever they can just get like the back work, or, you know, like filler, but you're the one who gives life to it, I guess. Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm not going to go out there and, you know, get a side piece AI, you know. It's just more like, I would think it would be cool if you could have AI that you could sit down and have a D&D game with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're like, but I mean, you can do better with that with friends, but I'm just coming from a point where there have been many times growing up where I didn't really have many friends, and having that ability to have, I guess, a NPC that you could play D&D with would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Trauma moment. It's funny that we talk like this, because when I say stuff like that, I remember when I went to school and they're like, okay, you had to go in the cafeteria and have to like find a place to sit, and the anxiety that came with that. I don't know if you guys, they don't have cafeterias here in Canada.
No.
What?
Some places, but
yeah, they just eat in the classroom.
Oh.
Isn't that
That sounds
elementary
nice.
school, yeah.
You bring your own food, and sometimes they have something called hot lunches where you can order from like Subway or whatever.
Oh, what the fuck? No, we do have the eat in the classroom here, because Skylar did that when she was younger. But their hot lunch would just be the teacher and the class would go and get lunch in the cafeteria and then bring it back to the class.
Yeah, there's no cafeteria whatsoever.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, see, for here, it was just a way for them to kind of get the kids used to going there and just, like, experiencing it before they got into, like, 3rd grade, where it was just like, okay, fuck off.
Yeah, I thought it was the weirdest thing, too, and that's why I was like, okay, where's the cafeteria? He goes, no, because when they're old enough, they can just leave the school to go eat at one of the places around, or they can go home and eat. And I'm like, wait, what?
Go home and eat. Tell me you don't live in Texas without telling me you don't live in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, they have an hour off, and then they just go
An
walk.
hour. Yeah, see, even if, like, for where I went to, like, middle school, walking an hour back to my house, I can't even make that walk.
Mm-hmm.
And where my middle school was, and high school, there was no, like, it was an hour either way to get to the closest store. It was in the middle of BFE.
Mm-hmm.
That would never have worked.
Mm-hmm. And do you know?
Canada's got some weird shit.
Yeah. Do you know they don't have private schools here either?
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Because they said, you know how they kind of zone schools, so like the poor neighborhoods would have like poor funding and poor education. Yeah. Here, rich, poor, whatever, you all go to the same school.
I think that's good though, because if rich people want to donate money to the school, even the poorer families benefit from that.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why they do it. So, I mean,
you guys have like Christian schools out there, like.
Yeah, we do have Christian schools here, but they're still all public. It's just, if you want them to have, what do they have, like, Bible study or whatever? You don't have to be Christian to go to it either.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just, they have Bible study. So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, we don't have that here.
Mm-hmm. Wow, we went off.
It did go off.
Yeah,
that's new.
All right.
Okay.
We're usually so stuck to our subject.
But anyways, you said you had you found a question or whatever?
Oh yeah. Okay. So the question here is, if you were paired with 100 random people, if you are better than all of them at something, you win $1 billion. What do you do?
Okay, I'll go first.
I was like, that broke the chat.
For $1 billion to be
For $1
better.
billion, you have to be better than 99 people at something.
Getting lost. Hands down.
Fair enough.
Because I will try.
They give you a map and you just fucking go the wrong way.
They would have to give a map and say, this is the most simple. They could put a polygraph test to me and they'd be like, this is like written in crayon, so easy for her to get to, but it's showing that she's honestly making the most horrible decisions to get there. That's me.
All she had to do is follow the orange markers.
What about rearranging geometric shapes?
Wow. I love you too, yes. Or yeah, or anything with shapes. Okay. I get issues with shapes. I flip them around. I think there's some kind of...
It's like dyslexia with shapes.
Dyslexia with shapes. It's a thing. Like, I don't know, like, if you give me an L, and you're like, now, mirror it, I will... That is a way to break me. Like when you pour water on a robot, I'll just like fizz out because I'm like, what? What is the mirror image of the square? And you're like, it's a square. It should be the same. But I'll be like, I don't get it. How about you, Ryan? What would you say?
Well, I mean, save from there being a straight up mute in the group, I'd say being the most quiet. I could happily go a couple days
people
without
in a
talking.
room. We stick you and 99 people in the room. We say the first person to talk loses. You're coming out of that fucking on top.
Yeah, he's gonna walk out with $1 billion. But I mean, if we're obviously self-deprecation is another thing we're really good at, because I can think of a lot of things that, whether you guys like to admit at or not, that you guys excel in, that you'll never own up to it. If I was
Mostly because I can't think of any of those answers right now.
I think if I was going positive, I would say that I would be the person who tries to see the best in, like, anybody. Like, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm nice. Maybe too nice at times. Where I'm like, well, you know, kind of. I think for the most part, right? I take a lot of shit.
You see the best in a lot of people to the point where
it's not,
at least it used to. It was just like, you gotta fucking stop. Like, this person's gotta go.
But you know what? Talking about trauma cupcakes, I think that's called people pleasing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I had to stop doing that myself.
I was about to say, you're kind of the same way.
I kind of went through that like a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing with what is it? That whole validation thing from being a kid and needing to just get some sort of, I wouldn't say praise, but acknowledgement. Yeah, just some kind of...
The pat on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because I know you would, like, especially being a guild leader, you would, like, go from morning until night helping noobs.
Oh, yeah.
Quests, dungeons. You would be whoring yourself out.
Oh, yeah. When we started, like, when I got IFD, and people were like, "Oh, you're a tank." I'd run stuff until I was like dizzy, because I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't drink, because I just gotta run, gotta go. And I did that in Destiny too. People were in the guild. They're like, "Oh man, you're really weird. Can you help me?" Yeah, sure, let's go.
I think Ryan is the same way too. Holy shit, are we just 3 people pleasers?
And why we're friends, we're just all, none of us can separate from each other, so we're just all trying to get each other's approval.
Yeah.
But Ryan's too quiet to tell me, "You're just super fucking nice," and I'm not sure if it's honest, and I'm me.
It's just an unhealthy triangle of trauma. Trauma triangle.
The trifecta of trauma.
One
that would
of
have been another
the
good
other you
podcast.
feel indebted.
Yeah.
Trifecta of trauma.
Trifecta of trauma.
By the way, my answer to that question I asked, because my one was like, I'd probably be the first person to just fucking get angry. This doesn't take much, or it just be first, like, orgasm. Because if I can't get myself off better than anyone else, something's gone horribly wrong.
Really? You're just like...
Yeah. Come on. 100 people, there's no way 100 people are better at it than you are at giving it to yourself.
See, you want that extra mile. Yeah, until you see, like, some, chick whose mouth looks like it's like a vacuum hose. And you're like,
No.
No. You're like, I can still do better.
I can still do better. Yeah, because you know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the fastest way to win that bet, though.
Oddly enough, I don't know, because a lot of women I know do not actually know their self that well. Like, they're almost scared too. It could have been
it gets a negative reception for women, I think, a lot. Like, it's kind of universally and publicly acknowledged men masturbate, right? Like, it's just a thing.
All the time.
But you don't really talk about it with women. It's the same with, like, they're like, "Oh, guys always think about sex." Women think about sex probably just as much, but it's just not as vocal. It's not stated.
Yeah, because, I mean, I was the same way too, but that could have been, like, growing up in that kind of, that's bad, right?
Yeah. You get called a whore, right? You're like, "Oh, you're thinking about sex. You're going to turn into a slut." Guys, you're thinking about sex, and you're like, "Yeah, high five, man. Woo." It's totally different.
With the hand you don't use.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, bro.
Stocks off all the time.
Sometimes I want to switch it up.
The stranger. I saw here we had I think it was FBI charged the Japanese Yakuza leader with nuclear materials trafficking.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
No shit, for sure.
That's like... I mean, you got drugs and you got, like, other illegal things that you could do, but that?
Dude, you don't hear about the Japanese Yakuza doing a lot of shit
Yeah.
either. I know Japan themselves are, like, trying really hard to, like, be like, no, what? The Yakuza? That's not a thing. What are you talking about? And then they just arrest you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's, apparently that was a thing.
Wow.
I think it happened back in 2020, but they just now are, like, doing charges and shit. But I saw that, and this is how much of a nerd I am. I was like, oh, that's going to be in the next Yakuza game.
Yeah, you're going to be playing that mission.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Did you ever play the Yakuza game, Ryan?
No.
The Yakuza game. There's only like 13.
Oh, there's like 13 of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot. Like, the newest one is...
I thought it was like
like a Dragon
Mafia, where
Infinite
they
Wealth.
would be like a few. I thought maybe like 3 or
No,
whatever,
yeah.
not 13.
No. Yeah, there's a shit ton.
So,
Yeah.
how is so far with your very much alive squad game going?
We beat it.
Yeah?
We beat,
Was it good?
It's a 6 out of 10. It's
6.
funny. The writing carries it really hard.
Mm-hmm. It's not like goated at all.
No. It's no Grand Blue Fantasy Relay.
Oh man, there's so much hate on that game. I was like so floored by it.
On the Unalive Squad?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Well, the hate was 100% unjustified.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad. Like, I know there were people who were like, oh, the UI, it's so busy. Just turn it off.
Uh-huh.
There's options in there, just turn it off. You don't want all the numbers? Turn them off.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's really easy. Just, you have to own the game to know what you can do with it. But it's okay. I mean, it's better than Marvel's Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably better than, like, the Mafia remakes, but it's no Metal Gear Solid. It's not a 10 out of 10 game by a long shot. It's boring. The mechanics are boring. The storyline started off really strong, and then I feel like they just kind of ran out of time. And they had the Superman fight was super boring and very quick and BS. The final fight against Brainiac was really annoying, but also just forgettable.
Spoiler alert.
And it's literally not a spoiler. You load into the game, and in the sky is a giant Brainiac head, and they're like, "Is that Brainiac?" You can't miss it. If you did miss it in the fucking 10 hours it takes to beat the game, I'm impressed. I wonder how you didn't see it.
Oh man.
Like, it's huge.
But
yeah, it's not great, but it's not as horrible as everyone made it out to be.
But Grand Blue, I know you've been talking about.
Grand Blue is a 10 out of 10. Grand Blue is fucking perfect. I love Grand Blue. I am platinuming it again. I'm platinuming
From
the
what I
PS4
see,
version.
it looks so good. Like the combat, and also, I mean, I actually love the art.
The art style is amazing. The fact that there's an anime that you can watch that is like a prequel to the game and gives you like a lot of information is amazing. Plus, it's has like that 90s animation style, so it's a
Would
really
you
good
recommend
anime.
people watching the?
Oh yeah, if you have not watched Grand Blue Fantasy the anime, watch it. Especially if you're interested in playing this game, because you will have an even more better appreciation for all of the characters. But yeah, no, it's a great game. I mean, when we played the PS5 version, I played like 4 different characters, settled on a character called Vaughn, who's like a axe-wielding dragoon tank guy. And now in the PS4 version, we're playing Eugen, who is a like big boss style character, ranged, giant gun, does a lot of damage. And just playing 2 different aspects, one range, one melee, the game feels totally different, and it's just a breath of fresh air. And the fact that you can play the PS5 version and still have you can swap between the 19 characters. It just feels different with every character, and it's great.
So it has nothing to do from going from the Unalive Squad to Grand Blue, and then Grand Blue just really shining. It in itself.
Oh, I played Grand Blue first before I ever started
okay.
the squad. I started Grand Blue first and loved it. Played Unalive Squad and was like, yeah, this isn't bad. platinumed the Grand Blue, went back, started the PS4 version, played that, finished Squad, and then I was like, yeah, no, I mean, Squad's not bad, Grand Blue's great.
And how's the story?
For Grand Blue?
Uh-huh.
Great. It's just great. It's just a good, solid story. It's an anime story.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to be the heroes, and just save the character, and then it turns into what I refer to as Monster Hunter Light. Because it's not like Monster Hunter, you get 3 lives time limit. In this, you have a red bar, and once the red bar runs out, the mission fails. But you have to die like 30 or 40 times for that to happen.
Nice. So in essence, it's also not too grindy. Like
it can be, but that's kind of the appeal, right? Like if you just want to play a really good like character fighting action story game, just buy it and play it. Like that's the storyline. If you go, wow, this is really good, I want more, well, let me tell you, there's an entire end game for you, and you can level up 19 characters, all of their masteries, level up 4 weapons, master those weapons, and then fully upgrade 1 ascension weapon for each character.
And is that what you're doing?
Other thing. Well, sort of. There's a second secret weapon called the Terminus weapon, and you have to kill Proto Bahamut for it. And he has a chance to drop 1 weapon per kill. And there's 19 weapons to drop. So, and I've already done this once on the PS5 version, so we're doing it again. So now I'm farming another 19. We're up to 2.
Nice.
So, it's great though. It's a really great game. I think it's great.
So you heard it from here. Check out Grand Blue.
Highly recommend. I cannot recommend it enough.
Oh.
On the topics of games though, did you guys see the Borderlands trailer?
What the
For
fuck?
the movie?
What the fuck? I was just talking to Ryan about that today. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna mention this.
Because it looks bad.
Because I saw Jamie Lee Curtis on it.
It's Tannis.
And I was like, I want to support her because I know she's a big WoW nerd. She's a Warlock.
And a Borderlands fan.
Yeah. But,
and a One Piece fan.
But I have not seen the trailer.
Oh,
Is it bad?
Recommend. It's bad. Okay, so just to give you an idea here, we all know who Lilith is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who would you cast as Lilith?
I'm actually bringing up the Borderlands movie.
Oh, well, let me tell you then. The cast for Lilith is Cate Blanchett.
Wait.
The ever popular and definitely older actress, Cate Blanchett.
Galadriel is gonna be.
Yes, Galadriel is gonna be Lilith. I don't understand the casting for that one. Also, Roland. We all know Roland. Tall, badass, jacked, silent, stoic hero. Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
That is like the noisiest mofo.
I just want to state, in case the universe somehow hears me. There's an actor called Idris fucking Elba.
Uh-huh.
Please cast him in more shit. The man is a fucking goat. Give him the role. How did we not, Idris Elba?
Are you sure maybe he just turned down the role?
No, I don't care if he turned down the role. They should have paid him more.
It said, you gotta do this.
They also cast Bobby Lee as Larry. Which, that one's just funny.
Who would you have, for Brick?
No, Brick's not in it.
Drax.
Neither is Mordecai.
Yeah. I was looking at, people are so appalled by it, they're doing their own casting, and it makes sense. Like, who they're choosing.
It almost feels like...
You know who they chose for Lilith instead? Karen Gillian.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
That would actually work really well. But
it's almost like the company is one of those ones that are like, hey, this game made, a killing. Let's make a movie off of it. And then they have no clue what the game's about. They're not even fans of it in any way, and they just randomly throw people at it saying, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what happened was probably investors or whoever higher up in the company was just like, we need names. We can't just cast whoever, you know, can't make it fit, can't make a good movie. Also, it's from the writers of fucking like, what was it, Venom, Spider-Man, and some other crappy movie, I don't know. But you made me think of Brick actor Dave Bautista. Dave should have played Brick.
That's what Ryan just said. He just said Drax instead.
Yeah. Also, Johnny Knoxville is Mordecai. Or Pedro Pascal, maybe. But Johnny Knoxville as Mordecai would have been funny.
I could see that. Michael Jordan?
No, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, yeah.
As Roland, I could see that.
Yeah.
Dude, he nailed it as you know what I'm talking about.
The one from
Wakanda.
From
Black
Panther.
He would nail. He's Kevin Hart. The fuck is Kevin? Like, also Jack Black is Claptrap. I love Jack Black, right? Like, he's funny, but Claptrap is a robot AI character that is just going to be CGI. Why didn't we just get his original voice actor?
Yeah. What?
Like, I don't get it. Yeah. Also, from the trailer, it looks like a buddy group drive around shoot people movie, which is not what Borderlands is. Also, why didn't we cast Jack Black as Marcus? That would have been a perfect fit.
Yeah, that would have been a good fit.
I just feel like, we're older, but I feel like they needed to drop the age of all of just a little bit.
Every single character is cast way too old. Specifically, Cate Blanchett as Lilith. She just looks old, and no offense to her. Like, she's older, and that's fine. But it's not her fault. She looks like that, but it just doesn't fit the character.
No,
but
Lilith
also, like, I like
younger.
Jamie Lee Curtis, but she doesn't fit Tannis either. Like, Tannis is a fucking nut job. But she's also not tall at all. She's like a short, freaking weirdo nut job, and the trailer didn't portray that very well. Either way, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up and just be like, look at this abomination.
I would be so surprised though. Can you imagine if they're like, oh, it's actually really good?
Dude, I'm gonna watch it when it comes out, and if it's good, I'll pop back on here and be like, hey, I gotta correct my statement. It wasn't actually that bad, but
you're not holding your breath either.
I'm not holding my breath. No. Look, I've played plenty of games, like 250 some platinums. Right, there's some real stinkers in there, and I've seen plenty of stuff at this point to know when a bad thing's coming out. Sometimes it's obvious, like on the Live Squad, and sometimes it's not.
You never know. Maybe Kevin Hart has the serious side, and he'll be really quiet.
Be really quiet, yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like from the trailer, he was trying to be serious, and it just doesn't. It looks like a child trying to hold in their excitement, is what it looked like. That's all I can. You guys know what that looks like.
Yeah.
It's like a child who's in trouble, and they're just like, if I just act like this, or they're pretending to sleep. Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, him. I didn't like him as Batman, but what I did like about him on the Batman is that he got his ass beat. It was very realistic. As a superhero, he was going to be beat the shit out of. Mm-hmm. But being the superhero he is, he endured it, and he kept going. Mm-hmm. So that's what ended up making it a really good Batman.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So whenever he took his armor off, he was bruised and, cut up like an old boxer, kind of like he just came out of a fight. And that's realistic. He wouldn't have been hunky-dory and going to balls all the time because he would be too sore. He'd be hopped up on painkillers.
Was it you, John, that thought that George Clooney was the best Batman?
Yes, because he is the best Batman.
Oh, dude, I don't think I've heard anybody else say that except for John.
Yeah, that's because no one remembers what Batman was before Christian Bale came in and ruined it, and they had all the other moody Batmans. Batman used to not be serious. The comics were fucking goof. Bat shark spray. That's all I need to say. But yeah, Batman and Robin, best Batman movie. Also, it's like the only one with Robin. How are we gonna insult one of the best ones with Robin? We don't get movies with Robin.
Who's Robin?
Appreciate him. Hey, who was Robin?
Wait, was that the only Batman with a Robin?
Yeah. Like
Well,
the only
there was
live
a
action.
couple of that one, but yeah. Same as Batgirl.
He kind of disappeared, right? He was like
Chris O'Donnell? No,
yeah.
he went on to NCIS Los Angeles, and he did that until like 2 years ago when they finally ended the show. That's the only reason I watched that show, because him and LL Cool J were on it. It was such a weird comedy.
Wow, that's you just saying that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I see it. No, I think because Ryan's mom actually watched it a lot, and like it was one of the more successful ones because I know there's like NCIS, all different types of.
Oh yeah, we got NCIS, this normal one, which watched all of that, loved it. And then then they had NCIS Los Angeles, which watched all of that. That was a good one. And then they had NCIS New Orleans, which it existed and now it doesn't. And now they have NCIS Hawaii,
And there's
I
Miami.
think. And I
There's Miami too.
Yeah, it's the one my mom likes the best.
I think the Hawaii one is like not doing well.
Honestly,
Also,
how many murders can you
you're-
have on a small
you're
volcanic
thinking-
island?
You're thinking CSI
Oh.
Miami. There was no
Oh.
NCIS Miami.
We were like, what? Yeah, one of the alphabet things. NCI.
Yeah, there's CSI in Miami. That's the one with the dude
What-
in the sunglasses. Yeah.
What does CSI stand for? Criminal.
Crime scene
Crime
investigators.
scene
Crime
investigators.
scene. And then NCIS.
Naval criminal investigators.
Oh, okay, that was the one where, yeah, they were all in the white suits and the hats and, yeah, well, the Navy outfits.
Yeah, they were naval criminal investigation service.
Billy
yeah.
Buttons.
Yeah, belly button crimes. Who stole my lint? Who poked me there?
That is the most invasive thing.
What
I
are we
think.
talking about? What is
See,
happening? Who
no.
stole your lint?
No. That Ryan has just learned to roll with me. Well, because I said belly buttons. Because you said navel and I said belly buttons. And instead of Ryan just correcting me, he was just like, yeah, crime's
I like to steer the ADHD people in
Yeah.
weird random directions.
Yeah, so he was like, who stole my lint? Who poked me there? And then that made me think of, like, that's very invasive for people to poke you in their belly button. Don't you hate that? What, you
And
ever...
I'm still on Batman and Robin. You guys fucking... I'm like 4 stops behind on this train. Holy
But-
shit.
But honestly, I mean, does that not happen to you guys? You guys haven't been poked in the belly button? I don't know. It's a weird thing of mine.
I would dare someone to try to poke me in the belly button. You ain't touching my fucking... No. The fuck?
It's just very, I don't know. It's one of those no-no things. It's like a weird thing of mine. That and feet.
Yeah, no, don't touch my feet. Don't touch my belly button. The fuck?
By now, if you're listening to our podcast, you know that it's never going to end up where it should be.
Yeah.
No.
So until then, if you still want to come on this very chaotic ride, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.